We are so excited to be celebrating Deepavali a day before the festival.
Exactly. We're the first. Actually, we're the first. We're jumping the gun right here on the breakfast show. Of course, Nazrul Rahman and Lisa Wong waking you up this fine morning. And yes, we were talking about a melting pot of cultures here in Malaysia. But of course, for Malaysians over here, we're admiring ourselves. Wow, we're such a melting pot. Actually, it's like that all around the world. Just have to open your eyes a little bit.
Yes. And when it comes to melting pot of cultures, you know, obviously there will be intermarriages. And today we're going to focus on Chindian, the marriage between Chinese and Indian. And we have two guests here from the Chindian Diaries. Now, this is a particular club kind of like on Facebook.
It's a project.
It's a project.
Connecting Chindians globally under one roof. So, of course, we talk about this initiative and what it's like growing up with mixed parentage as we speak to Mrs. Sherlyn Yap-Nair and Tabitha Rani, who would rather be known as Tabby.
Yes. Now Sherlyn is interesting. Now, your dad is Indian.
No, my dad is
Your dad is Chinese, sorry. Dad is Chinese with Thai blood.
Correct.
And your mom is Indian.
Yes.
And your husband is also Chindian.
Correct.
Okay.
Wow, Chindian plus Chindian equals Chindian.
More Chindian.
There you go.
More
There you go.
Chindian.
And Tabitha, you're the other way around, yeah?
Yes, my dad is Indian and my mom's Chinese.
Okay,
I see.
all right. I'm sure the first question is when people, ask you or look at you, same thing that's happened to me when I was growing up.
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah?
Pretty common. It's either what are you or Melayu ke?
There you go. Isn't it weird? Our first question, and there's many of my Malay friends ask me this. Why do you look Malay when you know you've got more Chinese and Indian blood? And do you feel that you get these comments most often when Chinese and Indians mix, we look Malay?
Yeah, and especially when people ask that, you kind of get caught off guard and you don't know how to answer. Because I don't know why I look Malay, because I look like that.
Have you had an experience when you were young, confused about your identity, maybe in school?
When I was younger, I looked very Indian. So I didn't get it as much. People just thought I was Indian. But my mom got it a lot because she would take me out to the market and stuff. And people would always think she's my nanny or a babysitter. And then they would just ask her like, berapa you jaga?
Wow!
Things like this. So my mom would get it more than me actually.
And did she take it in a negative or positive way?
She would just laugh it off, and sometimes she would joke with them, or she would just, oh, ini anak saya, and they're like, no lah, no lah. Yeah, exactly. They won't believe her. They just can't believe it.
Now, Sherlyn, do you speak Chinese or Indian or both?
I speak two dialects of Chinese. I speak Mandarin and Cantonese.
My goodness.
Because I went to Chinese school. And my dad's from Ipoh, so we speak Cantonese.
So that means you speak 6 languages. Think about it.
Almost.
Five lah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not very good at Tamil, but I can understand Tamil.
So let's say Guangdong Hua.
Say gong.
Wow. Okay, I'm feeling quite embarrassed.
The reason I'm asking is because when you start speaking Chinese, especially in Malaysia or anywhere else, they go out, they're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then they always say, oh, lucky I never say anything bad about you. I'm like,
I think in their heart it's more like, oh, luckily I didn't try to cheat this person. There you go. Do you have an experience growing up, especially in the mixed parentage?
Yeah, definitely. When I was born, because I was born in Ipoh, my parents were still working in KL. So before my mom gave birth, my dad sent her back to Ipoh. So after I was born, my dad wasn't around. So my uncle, my Chinese uncle, actually went and registered my birth. So while he was registering, so the registration guy, the admin guy asked, okay, so Bapak Cina, Mak India, anak Melayu ke? My uncle was like, how did you come to that conclusion? Bapak Cina, Mak India, anak macam mana jadi Melayu, right?
Maybe he's got some Chindian friends, just in case.
And this was like, what, 30 odd years ago. So back then it was very rare for Chindian couples in general. So I think people were quite ignorant, but these days it's very common.
See, we've got a unique situation here. We have we've got perspectives from 2 different eras. Yeah. So first of all, let's talk about growing up, and these are some pictures. Look at that. It's such a beautiful picture. Yeah.
Wow. When 2 cultures come together. Tabby, what about yourself? How many languages do you speak?
Because I grew up in Kuching, Sarawak, and there's not many Indians there. The population of Indians is just very small.
Oh, you are really exotic, yeah?
If you see another Indian in Kuching, you can't help but to smile or to wave, even though you don't know them.
Right.
You would just...
I'm one of you!
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, my people! That kind of feeling.
Understand.
So, I grew up with my Chinese side of the family, so I speak Hokkien and Hakka. And the Indian side, they are based in KL, and we would come end of the year just to see my grandma.
So do you speak Tamil or Hindi?
No.
No, okay, all
So
right. So do you find that Chindians are always more inclined to one side of the family?
I suppose.
Or does it depend on the father figure or the paternal
I
side?
think it depends on how they were brought up. I think
Yeah.
most of us are pretty neutral when it comes to both the cultures.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't actually met anyone that's very skewed towards Chinese or very skewed towards Indian.
Yeah, I think we can't help but
Yeah.
incorporate both races
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
What do you think is the advantage, or the kind of when you grew up, do you find yourself having an advantage, or do you find yourself more confused?
An identity crisis also.
A little bit of both. I think. Yeah, agree. You're still kind of confused until now. Like when I have kids,
What are they going to be?
what are they going to be? I'm Chindian married to a Chindian, so I suppose they would be pure Chindian. I don't know.
There you go.
But
So
yeah, I
these
think
are-
that's a
these are
definite
these are
advantage.
your
These are my
parents?
parents.
There you go.
Yeah, that's my
Right.
uncle. That's me, my
Oh, that's
sister,
the
my
person
cousin.
who registered you.
This is the family.
Yeah, this is my wedding photo.
I see. Another
Yeah.
Chindian as a husband.
Yeah.
Now, any anecdotes, funny incidents that happened while growing up?
Mine was the anak Melayu ke.
thing.
There you go. And
Yeah.
looking at the pictures, how can you get confused? Yes, it's easily confused.
Yeah.
Just you're wearing
See
a
two
sari.
Malay people dressed up like that.
Exactly. Wow, sungguh Malaysia. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing as well. Let's talk about the Chindian Diaries, the initiative, the project on the internet. How did it come about? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So Kevin, which is the founder, he is based in Sydney. So a couple of years, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, he went for a storytelling workshop.
Okay.
And then I think he wanted to find a particular topic to concentrate on, and he realized that there's a lot of history in his family itself. So he started digging through and found a lot of stories about his grandparents, because his grandparents, on his dad's side, his grandfather is Indian, grandmother is Chinese. And because they were married, his grandmother's parents disowned her for
Oh,
marrying
wow.
an Indian man.
I see.
So it happened back then.
Yeah, he does.
It still
Yeah,
happens
it does.
now sometimes,
Yeah, it does.
unfortunately. Yeah.
So because of that, his father grew up very Indian because his mother, the Chinese mother, decided to adopt the Indian culture since the family disowned her. So Kevin started digging up a lot of stories, and he wanted to find out about a lot of other Chindians as well and what their stories were. So that's why he created the
That's
project.
pretty common among those of mixed parentage. Yeah, you have this strong urge to find out who you really are.
Yeah.
You know, so you tend to delve on both sides. And so with the project, this Chindian Diaries, yeah. So now it's on the internet, it's on Facebook, and Chindians from all around the world are connecting together. So it's not just us here in Malaysia. Yeah,
Yeah.
we exist everywhere. We will take over the world.
Exactly.
Right, no, that's what I
Because,
think.
I mean, imagine the two largest population in the world are the Chinese and the Indians.
Exactly.
Eventually, we
Yeah.
will take over the world.
Wow! Strong words. I like this. I like it. But don't say so loud, lah. Don't say so.
So, coming back to your experiences, do you have the confusion when you actually fill up a form here? Do you take Chinese or do you take Indian?
Yes.
Tabby?
Sometimes I feel like taking both.
Yeah.
I have a friend, he's Chindian too. He takes line.
Line,
Oh, really?
line.
Yeah.
What does it matter?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
There
exactly.
should be one last box. Does it matter? Because the thing is, maybe we're a bit skewed right here because all of us are from mixed parentage. All of us are Chindians here.
Yeah.
And do you feel that because you have more than one perspective, especially growing up in a family, it makes you more tolerant and more accepting? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely, especially because race is such an important part of
It's your
growing up
identity,
in
yeah.
Malaysia.
Yeah.
It is part of your identity. So being of mixed parentage, it does kind of open you up and make you a little bit more open-minded about other mixed kids or what other people are going through based on their race or whether they're being discriminated against. Because growing up myself, I was discriminated against as well. I grew up I went to a Chinese school, and you're a different color from everybody else. People tease you, they bully you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because of that, I have sort of made myself a much more open-minded person because of my background as well.
Tabby, what's your experience like?
Growing up in Kuching, like I said, there's not many Indians. So in my class, when I was going through secondary school and primary school, I was the only Indian, probably in that
So you're the most
age
popular.
range. Not, yeah, in a way, yeah, like everyone would know me. Oh, that's the Indian girl. Yeah, exactly. And I guess like what she said, that's kind of like, it opens up your mind to you're just not close-minded about anything. You accept any race and all, because if you get bullied and all in school because of what your race is, somehow you make a mental note not to do that to others.
Absolutely.
So you're more culturally exposed as well.
Yeah,
Now, I also read that, you know, sometimes with being born Chindian, you have some confusion that could be quite humiliating. In the Chindian Diaries on your Facebook page, I read incidents where, you know, a father whose kid, obviously a different skin color, and when this kid wails in public, like, Dad, I don't like you. People start coming and thinking, this is a kidnapper.
My goodness.
Yes, and the dad had to explain himself.
My goodness. But of course, it's perception. Yeah? And the thing is, you cannot change the minds of other people. I mean, the only thing we can do is, of course, do the best we can. And when it comes to acceptance of other cultures, I've got a little story as well. When I was a kid, I'm going to say this out loud. Yeah, I was called Keling Putih. Seriously, in school. And the thing is, after a while, it didn't matter anymore. It really didn't matter anymore. I mean, a lot of people put their arms in the air and go, oh my God, how can you be so racist, Papa? But those from mixed parentage go, hey, relax lah. You know, sticks and stones will really break my bones, you know, but really it's how we accept it. And here in Malaysia, maybe the sensitivity level may be rising, but I think we just got to take a step back and go, hey, you know, it's really about the intention within. We Malaysians are really nice to each other, and hopefully we'll celebrate the Festival of Lights, Light or darkness.
So when you, what is the hope then for you? You know, is there anything that, you know, culturally that you hope people would understand about Chindians?
That we're both Chinese and Indian, to accept us as both, and that being Chindian is a very unique culture by itself. So yeah, that to be accepting of other people and other races doesn't matter whether you're Chindian or not, but
I'm going to quote you on that. How about you, Tabby?
I was just about to say roughly the same thing. But yeah, I think people need to realize that it is possible to have a mixed parentage of Chinese and Indian.
And look Malay.
Yeah, and look Malay. But yet we're Chindian. And yeah, I think that's similar to what she said.
And ultimately, we're all still Malaysian.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's celebrate light. And of course, you're in our home. Please have some light.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. There you go. Just a little bit. There you go.
Sweetness to sweeten
Celebrate.
up your life.
There you go. There you go. And of course, may the expanding tummy give you prosperity always. We're going to take a break right here on The Breakfast Show, the show worth waking up for. Pretty interesting discussion. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you, Tabby. Thank you, Sherlyn.
And for those of you out there who are interested about the Chindian culture, Chinese-Indian, Indian-Chinese parentage, check out the Chindian Diaries. Just Google them up and check out the many stories and also the pictures that paint 1,000 words.
Yes, the pictures are very fascinating, so take a look. Now, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will be completing a rangoli, or what you call a kolam.
I see. You are confusing me. Rangoli, kolam. This is the same thing.
thing.
My goodness, I got to brush out my Indian roots. That's for sure. We're going to take a quick break. Yes, we shall finish what we started. The kolam right here on The Breakfast Show.